Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Giridharadhari Yashodanandana Vrijanarajana Yashodanandana Vrijanarajana Yashodanandana Vrijanarajana Yamuna Tira Vadati Yamuna Tira Vadati Elora Madhoma It's a very nice point here. The main meditation is complete dependence. In the various ways we can understand. Let us first understand analytically, what we say, logically, and then go to another dimensions. Today they have an idea like this. There is an ocean, and suddenly from the ocean, one aeroplane came out. Something happened, accident happened, some chance, and aeroplane came out. Prabhupada takes this example. He says, this is how the scientists are trying to explain to us the word has come. They cannot start from the beginning. Because you say there was earth, from where earth has come. You have to go to the beginning first. Beginning is always Krishna. They avoid that fact. They start somewhere in the middle, and then after that, still they can't explain anything. Look at the level of ignorance. First thing, you don't know the ultimate cause, how it happened. Correct? And then, just like you say, in this room by accident we all came here. We all came here. You start from there, and after that at least explain what happened. Class happened. Accidentally class happened. So accidentally, some helicopter came out, a plane came out of the water. But this is nonsense, no? Isn't it? First there was the ocean, and accidentally from the ocean one plane came out. Some accident. Similarly, if you ask any scientist today how life has come, accidentally it happened. This is not reasonable knowledge. And I was seeing, spent a lot of time this week studying, there were different people who are able to debate with the scientist or on the line of creation. Prabhupada wanted he created an institution called BI, Bhaktada Institute, with one objective, expose the scientist. He said they are speaking foolishly. And he said even a gentleman will not speak like this, because he will be ashamed to speak this nonsense. I don't say they are even gentlemen, because no gentleman will speak nonsense like this, correct? He will be aware of his ignorance. But the fact today is, you go to any conference, you make any paper. I was hearing the difficulties they are facing. The people are putting forward the proposal to the science community that God is there scientifically, correct? So the difficulty they are facing is that moment in their paper the word God comes, the paper is never printed. It's not allowed to be printed. You cannot go to any conference, even utter the word God. You are immediately called a madman. This is the present level of atheism which has been permeated into the education system, and everybody is infected with it. all even the children, we send them to the education system, they come out with this atheism. And the effect is so bad that these people seeing being persecuted like this, they went to the court in America. And the judge in America, also being affected by the same system he has been brainwashed in childhood, they said, no, you cannot bring God under the world of science. It is completely unscientific, therefore it should not be taught. They wondered why they should not be taught in schools and colleges. There's an effect they understood from where it is coming. Because whole mass goes through this kind of education system, and wherein this nonsense is taught. There was an ocean, and suddenly people came out of it. Something happened. First question is from where ocean came. First explain that. Why you are taking why you are not starting from the beginning. Correct? Because if you go to the beginning, God is there. There is no other way. There is no other way. They know they can't explain. So what they say? They say first there was something, or there was some sky, boom, some explosion happened. From where explosion happened? You will ask whichever way, they get stuck. So this should not be allowed, and Prabhupada said because the whole education system, this mistake is there. The wrong philosophy is being taught that life has come from chemicals. Instead of saying chemicals has come from life. Just like I am there, now I produce sweat, I am producing urine stool, I am producing chemicals, no? But when I am dead, I cannot produce anything. Can I produce anything when I am dead? A mango tree is there, it is producing mangoes. A dead mango tree can produce anything? No, it will not produce. So similarly, living beings can create chemicals. Life can create chemicals. But chemicals cannot create life. The reverse does not happen. So this is, from darkness you cannot create light. Darkness is absence of light. Correct? But from darkness you cannot create light. So this way anyway Prabhupada. This way you see actually even in any field of science we are dependent on the law. Correct? First I take an analytical something which I am trying. I don't think it is easy because I have forgotten all my previous study, but it is needed. I was seeing some devotees who do that. They have to really know the stuff. You can maybe some students you can convince and all, but the mass, who are actually the leaders, if you want to convince them, this is nowhere. You have to really know the stuff very, very well, because you have to know what they are talking, and then you can present. So I saw that they are doing good work. And I was also wondering, because they do not have, many times this question was asked to them. You were saying there is a supernatural creator. He is asking the creationist, the atheistic scientist. Can you show me a process within your system to see him? And very unfortunate, because they are not from Krishna consciousness. They are from, just scientists who are sympathetic to the creation. They are silent. But actually, if the devotees would have developed it, we have a systematic process. Now you say absolute truth, something is there. But we have a process to see it, and many people have applied the process and seen it. And that is the whole Bhagavatam we are reading. Bhagavatam is nothing but interview with the people who have seen God. Correct? Now you say life suddenly came from a chemical, and we immediately challenge who has seen it. And they have no answer because nobody has seen it. Correct? And neither they can prove it. They themselves admit we can never prove it. Why? Because even if they create the exact same chemicals which existed at the time of creation, they know, even according to their science, it will take billions of years for life to come out. They know there is nobody is going to wait that much for a proof. Anyway, they know it's unprovable what they are saying. And it's not logical anyway. But the point is, they counter ask the devotees, can you prove? What is your proposal? Can you give me steps? If I follow that, I can see God. Yes, we have. We have those steps. But, therefore, Krishna conscious devotee can make much stronger. And another way is that I saw they lack the very element and the science of consciousness, which is actually the point at which any scientist gets trapped, because there is no way you can explain consciousness from matter. Okay? So there was second thing I could see. Third thing, they have no understanding of karma theory. So when they were being asked by the audience this question, why somebody suffers, this, that, they have no idea. So I was saying so many areas they are so weak. They just had one thing with them, that in the DNA they are seeing so much information, from where the information has come. They are leading mathematicians to the world. They are stunning science just for that one truth, which is truth. But not having a complete picture of Krishna consciousness, complete philosophy. And I was just reading a surprising quote from Prabhupada, which is not read before. Prabhupada says that when India became independent, anyway it was not a fortunate thing that happened, so many people died and all. But when it became independent as a country, we should have taken Krishna consciousness as a religion. The opportunity was there. Could have declared Gita as a national book. Easily, they have done it. There would have been no objection at that moment. The opportunity is missed. Now you can't do it. They declared Quran as a national book, Muslim as you could have declared Gita as your national book. Nobody would have objected. Even now, America, when the Pope has been elected, America is congratulating him. You see all the news, that is the number one. The president is congratulating, and their national religion is Christianity. Even though they have an element of secularism, they respect every religion, but their national religion is. Why is he personally congratulating? When Pope goes to America, he is given presidential honor. Not even an honor that Indian Prime Minister gets more than that. President of America goes and personally receives him. You know that? And he is giving national honor. And the huge arrangements are made. So I am saying that was a great opportunity. So Prabhupada says, because coming on dependence here, what was the use of that independence? When you could not, the greatest treasure in the name of secularism has been thrown away today. Okay? It could have been systematically. Because in India, even though the education system is so foolish today, in India we could have saved it. There have been attempts now, but it is too late. Okay? There have been some attempts. They made some attempts to introduce Gita as a textbook in Madhya Pradesh and other people. But so much controversies. Now it's too late. Opportunity is now difficult. So anyway, so Prabhupada says that. So this independence is a very beautiful feature. In fact, Prabhupada talks about this. Yudhishthira Maharaj, first thing is Shukadeva Goswami is the speaker of Bhagavatam. What independence he assured? Completely independent. Correct? How? Because of complete dependence on Krishna. We cannot be Swarat like Krishna, but we can be completely dependent on the Lord. When he was a small child, say 14-year-old boy, he just walked out of the house. Shukadeva Goswami, when he was born after 14 years. Okay? No, none of them are 14 years now. 12, 13, 14, 12, 13. So imagine, same size you are in the womb of the mother. How much difficulty will be there for the mother, such a big child, correct? Shukadeva Goswami was like that. He did not come out till 14 years. He was already in the womb, he was hearing. He heard all the knowledge he heard from the father, and he was hearing, became a great devotee. And father said, please come out. No, father. This world is full of Maya. I am not going to come out. Sare, beta, see, your mother is suffering so much. See how you are so attached to your wife. He's telling. I can see you are so attached to your wife. So much Maya is there. I am not coming out. I am not coming. This world is full of Maya. He is not seen externally. Only he has heard from his father. Correct? But he is saying this world is full of Maya after hearing. I don't want to come to this world. Then finally what happened? Krishna, Vedavyasa went to Krishna in Dwaraka and he requested him, please help me. So Krishna came all the way to his hut. And Vedavyasa, you can add that, as far as we know, one of the places he resides is Badrikashram. Correct? So maybe Krishna went from Dwaraka all the way up, and with Vedavyasa he went there. And he told Shukadeva Goswami, please come out. Why are you giving so much pain to your mother? So he tells, my Lord, this world is full of Maya, I am so scared. So Krishna gives an assurance, don't worry, Maya will not touch you. Correct? And then he is born. And the moment he is born, he doesn't even look at his father. He runs after in the forest. So his father cries and runs behind, Uttara, 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 and nobody is hearing. Only trees are echoing the sound. Uttara is running. And he's completely independent, that was his feature. Why? Because he's dependent on the Lord. He's fearless. Prabhupada says, because of dependence on the Lord, all of us are suffering, the greatest suffering, the four suffering. What are the four suffering in this world? Four problems in this world: eating, sleeping, mating, defending. Defending is because of fearing. Prabhupada says this fearing element causes more pain than any other three. This fearful, that causes, we are suffering, but the suffering because of fearing is maximum. Always we are in anxiety, what is going to happen, what is going to, constantly. Sada Samudvigna, Prahlad Maharaj is given the certificate. Sada Samudvigna Dhyam Asadgrahat. Everybody is in an anxiety because of he is in a temporary place. So therefore, we see this example very clearly that if you want to become fearless, correct? Now exams are coming, the exams are over, still there. So we are fearful. So if you develop dependence on Krishna, only then we become fearless. It's not that we don't do anything now, we're dependent on Krishna, we go and sleep. No, we do our best, but we are fearless. Why we are fearless? Because dependence on the Lord. Prabhupada also shows, Shukadeva Goswami showed in an example. Prabhupada also showed that glorious example in his life. Completely dependent on the Lord. Prabhupada says, if I was not bold or daring, I would not want to come to your country. Without any money, 70 years of age, none of us are 70 years of age. Imagine at 70 years of age, without any money, go to a strange country. And Prabhupada says, so much cold, I was not used to this kind of cold. Terrible cold. And he reached during the winter only. He reached. Janmashtami was in the ship only. He reached 1.5 months, September, October, and that time the 0 degree in America, snow everywhere. So cold. He's seeing terrible cold in that country. Correct? Strange country, doesn't know anybody who wants. There is a Gopal Agarwal where he's 1 month he could have stayed with him, but even then he left him in 15 days, and he was not a recipient or a student for Krishna consciousness. He was looking for somebody. He had, just like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, I have some goods to sell. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he came to Banaras, he says like that, I have some goods to sell, but there are no customers here. If I can get even little price, I will sell these goods. The same way, a pure devotee in his heart is keeping ecstasy of Krishna consciousness. The pleasure of Krishna consciousness is there in his heart. And he wants to share. Correct? When you hear a joke, you want to tell somebody. You want to share. So pure devotee, not a small joke. He is having beautiful form of Krishna in his heart. He is having all the pleasure of serving Krishna. His heart is full of happiness. And he wants to share that. But it is spiritual, not material. For getting a customer for that is not easy. Correct? Suppose you understand somebody from Bhagavatam and you are telling your school, they'll laugh. They can't understand. You have to look for a customer, whom to tell. So, what is the price is needed? Little submission. Little submission. And Prabhupada is also like in the mood of Lord Chaitanya, gave it practically free. Practically free. Whoever came to listen to him, just ready to give little price. So we can see Prabhupada says even in his own life the same thing. Complete dependence on the Lord he has shown. Now how do you know somebody is dependent on the Lord? Just look at his behavior. Correct? Look what he did. We can see he's completely fearless when he's distributing Krishna consciousness around the world. I was reading one letter, just telling the devotees, in the beginning of the movement, see, we are going to print every month 50,000 Back to Godhead magazines. There is no money, there are 3-4 centers running. Every month 50,000 magazines we are going to print every month. And all these new books, because which he has already written, should also be published. And money, Krishna will supply. Money, Krishna will supply. Nobody knows from where it will come. Dependence on that. That is called developing dependence on the Lord. Similarly, many times devotees used to bring to Prabhupada big scholars of the country, and they are not fools, They're very intelligent. You can't even talk to them. Very intelligent. Scientists, very intelligent, some scholars, theologians. You see, they come sometimes, some discussions are recorded. And Prabhupada always comes out victorious. He stuns them, He is talking to theologians and he's saying that you agree God is there? They said, yes. Correct? Because Prabhupada says any machine has to have an operator. Now this mic is there, we can use it as an operator. This camera is there, I'm controlling you. Correct? So any machine cannot run without an operator. You have an aircraft, there is a pilot flying it. Sometimes you have a pilot in the ground, the remote is controlling. But control is there. Any machine we have seen without an operator. Fan is there, we have to on and off. Operator is needed to control. Any machine, you see an aircraft, there is a train, there is a driver. This power is coming from power plant, there is an engineer. Any machine needs an operator to practically run usefully. Right? Now this whole universe is there, a huge machine. Who is the operator? Now Prabhupada says definitely there is an operator for this whole material nature. When he says nature, there has to be an operator. And because you don't know who is an operator, I am giving a proposal. Why don't you accept it? Because you don't have a proposal. Why don't you accept my proposal? He is tricking them actually, and I just look at it. This is a great logic you are playing with them, correct? You say you are searching for God? Yes, I am presenting you God. Here it is Krishna. If you don't have an alternate proposal, why don't you accept it? Anyway, you are searching for God, and here I am presenting here is God, and he also said he is God, accepted by all the great authorities. He showed activities. Prabhupada says another way to identify God is his activities are inconceivable. We can't even conceive the way he does activity. Krishna was playing with his coward boyfriend, suddenly big fire started. What Krishna told them? You are lie down. And what did Krishna do? Open his mouth, swallow the fire. Now is it understandable by your physics, by your chemistry? Can you understand this? How can somebody swallow fire? समझ आता है, समझ नहीं आता. Can you understand? Somebody can swallow fire. It's not possible to even understand. Yes, that is where it is. God is inconceivable. Prabhupada says, unless you start at this point, God is inconceivable. You can't understand anything. And what these atheistic sciences do, first thing they did, first there was something. First question, from where that something came. There was a chunk and it exploded. Wait a minute, from where the chunk came? We can immediately catch. They say there was the ocean and in it life form. Wait a minute, from where ocean came first? And then they say, by chance, something formed. So you are giving inconceivable power to chance. Suppose I have with me, what they say then? Dice. Take it. If I throw one dice, if it comes number 6, what is the chance? 1 in 6. If I throw a million dice and all come 6, is it possible? Possible. Something like that. So by chance it happened. By chance it happened. So this is what they do. That is what the cheating they are doing. They say it happened all by an accident, by chance. No, it's not true. They avoid inconceivable feature of the Lord and they end up in the inconceivable feature of chance. You getting the point? Chance can do anything. You go to any side, no, it happened by an accident. And the unfortunate thing is the whole youth today is brainwashed into that nonsense. So it's a very big challenge actually to preach, because if you do not address this, if you just talk about Krishna consciousness sometimes directly, you make it 5% people. Those who come from religious homes and all. But unless you solve this riddle for youngsters, 95% people remain atheist. Correct? So therefore there is a need in so many ways to work on this area. So come back to our point, complete dependence. Even science has to develop that. Complete dependence on the Lord. Why? God is inconceivable. They are avoiding inconceivable feature of God, number 1. Number 2, they are avoiding to start from God. Actually everything starts from God. So even Yudhishthira Maharaj showed that. When he came to know Krishna has left the world, what did he do? He just walked out of the palace. He did not look at his brothers on whom Bhagavatam says he was always dependent. Actually, he did not fight in the Mahabharata war much. He did something, not much. Mainly Bhima and Arjuna fought. They are the one who killed everybody, correct? So they were always supporting him. Always, he was the eldest brother. Correct? They were always polite, always supporting him. Prabhupada says always, these 5 Pandavas never fought among themselves. That's such a nice example. Correct? They were always together, working together. And Yudhishthira Maharaj was the eldest and he was most learned. So he was a king. There was no fight like in India, how many kings fought and killed each other. Correct? But they didn't fight and kill each other. And then, after that is over, there was somebody, they talk about Taj Mahal as an example of love. So somebody gave a list. First thing, it is very disputed whether it was built by him. There is a lot of evidence contrary to that. Yeah, it has come. And number 2, interesting things have come up. This was his 7th wife. He married her after killing her husband. Great love. And then after that, when she died, he married her sister. And this is celebrated around the world as a symbol of love. Even when President of America came, he went to see that place as a symbol of first, I don't know what is love only. So this cheating is going on in this world. So let us. So we were where? We were in Yudhishthira Maharaj. Yudhishthira Maharaj just left. He was dependent on his brother, just left. Independent of all of them. Whole life he was dependent on them actually. Correct? They were the ones who protected him. Even in the Mahabharata war, Dronacharya knew that he is not a very powerful warrior. He planned to arrest him many times. The war, they planned to arrest him. The whole war is over. Because the other side king is arrested, over. War is finished. And he had to be saved by Satyaki or somebody, Arjuna, they had to save him always. He could not. So he was dependent on his brothers. But at this moment, he did not even look at them, just walked out. Correct? Prabhupada says, complete independence. Why? Because of his meditation on the Lord. Prabhupada said this is the complete stage of fearlessness. And this is also the consciousness of a sannyasi. A sannyasi also in the Vedic culture used to be completely independent. And cultivating dependence on the Lord used to be completely fearless. Just like the Narad Muni, a small child, he also practically at that moment when his mother died took sannyas. Because his behavior is like a sannyasi, small child. And he was walking through the forest, here, there, wild animals, completely fearless because he's dependent. So Prabhupada also says, so many times, I also argued with these big scientists, philosophers and all. And if you see the knowledge they are having, maybe I don't know, how could I dare to even do that? Because I am dependent on Krishna. I know Krishna will supply me knowledge. Just like a child is there. Now you go to some place, a big man comes. Father is there. We challenge him, right? Because Father is there. Similarly, a devotee knows Krishna is there. So he has developed complete independence. So this is actually a beautiful quality we have to cultivate. And in Kali Yuga, this is cultivated, coming back to the same point to say every day, dependence on the holy name. We cultivate dependence on the holy name. We know Maya is every moment waiting to kick us on the face. Correct? We cultivate dependence on the holy name of the Lord. Hare Krishna mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. We cultivate dependence on the Mahamantra. And as we cultivate dependence on the Mahamantra, what happens? Actually, we develop a capacity. What capacity we develop? We develop a capacity to be independent from everything else in this world. Otherwise, it is not possible. Artificially, it is not possible. Krishna is Swarat. We all know that. That is the nature of Krishna. Krishna is Swarat. But sometimes we foolishly think, I am also Swarat. It's like in movies they show hero is working. Hero means Swarat. He is independent of everything. But actually, that's foolish. They are not Swarat. Even youngsters today, they walk like a big. You see their profile photo, everybody like a hero. Prabhupada says, always walk in this world as a servant of the Lord. Always keep yourself conscious. You are not independent. you are dependent. And where does it begin in Bhagavad Gita? Krishna says, Bhuta Bhava Samanvitaha. Aham Sarvasya Prabhavo. From every angle, maybe from an angle of science, from an angle of philosophy, from the angle of scriptures, from the angle of great Vedic authorities, one should be fully convinced Krishna is the origin. Aham Sarvasya Prabhavo Matta Sarvam Pravartate. We should be fully convinced of this. Iti Matva Bhajante Mam. Only when we are convinced of this, what is going to happen? Bhuta Bhava Samanvitaha. With full understanding, and you will surrender to the Lord. And you will become a great devotee. So this cannot artificially happen. A person has to cultivate knowledge. But actually today, what is cultivated is not knowledge. It is what people cultivate in big buildings of education institution is ignorance. And ignorance then passes as knowledge. And then what we can do? They write, knowledge is power. So many things, right? But sir, where is the knowledge? Beginning of knowledge is not there. Because beginning of knowledge is identifying who I am. That is called the beginning of knowledge. And then the conclusion of knowledge is the Lord, Supreme Lord. So neither there is a beginning, neither there is an end. And all the people, right from the time the child is born, take the children to the temples of ignorance, not temples of knowledge. They take the children. And on top of it, anyway there is no knowledge, we will have co-education system, and the boys and girls make whatever sanity was left, they destroy the whole sanity because of so many other factors. Prabhupada says, these are the places for culturing values. First thing, there is no knowledge. On top of it, at least some values you can teach. They become the hubnet of sinful activities. You can prove it. Any place, the youngsters congregate today in the name of, it's not education, it's ignorance being taught. The place you don't learn any value. Education to forget because there is no knowledge. Vidya is not there. If you know what is Vidya, it's not easy thing, sir. Go to Ishopnishad study. The definition of Vidya doesn't exist. Correct? There is something called Vidya. There is something called Avidya. Correct? Vidya means what? Vidya means which stops my suffering. Vidya means which liberates me. Suppose I am sitting inside a jail and every day one person is coming with a rod and hitting you left, right, center. Correct? So knowledge, suppose somebody comes to tell you, now I am going to tell you, the fan which is there above, it is made of 3 things and then there are 4 things inside that. Then there is a motor. Are you interested? Does it help you? No, you will say, this fellow is coming and hitting me every day. This knowledge of the fan, does it help solving that? No. So therefore, it is called avidya because it has no, knowledge should have a utility. No. What is the utility for me? I am going to die one day. I don't know what is going to happen to me after that. I want knowledge for that. Correct? Understood? Vidya, I want knowledge. I don't know. I am suffering in so many ways in this world. Who has put me here? Why somebody has thrown me inside the jail? Why they are not allowing me to get outside the jail? How can I get outside the jail? That is Vidya. Correct? If somebody comes to tell you, one thing somebody came is telling about the fan or telling the floor is made of, what is the use of that knowledge? That is not given title of Vidya, it is given Avidya. At the same time somebody comes, now I am going to tell you how if you behave in this way, this caning will stop, which is going on every day. Correct? We also have a caning, we are suffering in the material existence. If you take to Krishna consciousness, the beauty is, even though there are tribulations of material nature, you will not suffer. You will not suffer. Just like you are going on a rough road, correct? If you have a good car, you don't suffer. The springs will take care of it. And if you are going on some other vehicle or auto you are sitting, be ready. Your back will pain. You go from here to Udupi on an auto, you will have a severe back pain. But if you go on a Mercedes, you will not even know. You'll be floating. Correct? So the things change. Similarly, when you take to Krishna consciousness, actually the tribulations are part of life. Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadhi. And these are the four primary, unsurmountable. But we are so intelligent that instead of solving these four unsurmountable problems, we add so many problems. Some misunderstanding happened with somebody, so many kind of mismanagement of the God's resources. We create so many. Just like animals, they just depend on nature's gift. All the animals, they do like that. But we in the humanity have created so much anxiety because we don't depend on God's gift. We want to, do so many permutation combination with them and create an anxiety. So the real Vidya means actually to save myself from the tribulations I'm experiencing material knowledge. So suppose somebody comes to tell you how you can get out of the jail. I'll be hearing word by word. Correct? You take right there, then you take left. Just like recently they made a gufa to get out of the jail. Last minute they were caught. So you will hear word by word. In Afghanistan they escaped some few months ago. So hundreds of prisoners, all big mujahideen, they escaped from the jail. They made a tunnel and they ran away. Anyway, it's a Registan. It's soft sand. They ran away. That is the biggest joke, to soft sand. Recently I was seeing the analysis of this avidya people, how snakes came into existence. You know what they say? That actually they were previously having 4 legs, 2 legs, 2 hands. It was very nice to run around and all. But they thought now to enter the soft sand. Then the hands and legs are very big problem. So they disappeared. Then how the wings came? There was a squirrel on the top of the tree and it saw insects flying. So it thought if it can also do. It jumped and wings came. But this is madness. This is not, what I call, I don't know. Which way I can call it Vidya, I can't understand. This is absolute nonsense. Actually, these all things have to be deleted from the textbooks. But what can be done actually? Ignorance, temples of ignorance. So, now I'm being very critical. So what happens then? So if somebody gives you information, how to stop the caning every day, correct? And how to get out of the jail, that is called Veda. Veda means knowledge. You understood? We didn't understand till now. Why the Vedas don't tell you why the fan will run in 3 ways? Not needed. Why did Vedavyasa not design Galaxy S4? He knows Vedavyasa. They will harm themselves more than benefit from it. So therefore he didn't give you. But he gave you something which will benefit you, Vedas. He gave you the Vedic knowledge, which he knows will not harm you at all, only benefit you. Correct? He could have designed. When he's sitting at the Bhadrika ashram, he can write what has happened in the history millions of years ago, not now. Millions of years ago. He's also narrating Lord Rama's pastime, which is in Treta Yuga. And this is not this Treta Yuga. Lord Rama's pastime is other cycle. Satya, Treta, Dwapar, Kali, Jiva Goswami says it is not this. It is 2 cycles before. That means few millions of years ago, what has happened is right. Past, present, future, X, Y, Z dimension is anywhere. Imagine X, Y, Z, past, present, future. That's why Krishna also showed to Arjuna Vishwarupa. In the Vishwarupa, what was there? X, Y, Z, infinite all dimensions, past, present, future, minus infinity to plus infinity. Handle it at one place. Correct? That is the Vishwarupa actually. So Arjuna, and not only that, now today they are saying 4D, the big joke. They are telling 3D the ho gaya, 4D. You can smell also. Vishwarupa, smell was there. Sound was there, smell was there, sight was there, light was there, everything you see. Read in Bhagavad Gita. But Krishna showed already, now 4D, 10D, every dimension was there. Because they are talking past, present, future also. Now you cannot have that dimension in any video that you show. Can anybody show? X, Y, Z you show. What about time? Time is also accepted as a dimension. Show no present and forward. Krishna showed to Arjuna. Past, present, future, everything was there in the Vishwarupa. Plus smell was also there. Taking 4D now. Smell is there. Already it was there. So everything is so vividly explained anyway if you want to know. So the knowledge means which liberates me. If you know knowledge means you should not suffer with the realities of existence. You should always be peaceful. And if you know knowledge, correct? You know to ultimately solve the problem of existence. Today what happens actually, that so many technologies being developed, because matter science is studied, that also ignorance. I told you, not starting from beginning. There was some ocean and then accidentally something happened. Both are ignorance. First, from where the ocean came, and number two, accidentally nothing happens. There is always a designer. Now, what was the last point? Anyway, so the Veda means a knowledge which should solve all the problems of our material existence which we are in, and it does that. So this dependence on the Lord, what we are talking today, or the main point was, we have to cultivate. That is real knowledge. In Bhagavad Gita also Krishna says, Arjuna, I tell you my last word, Sarva dharman parityajya ma ekam sharanam vraja. Aham tvam sarapapebhyo mokshayashami mahasacha. This is the statement of Krishna. Before this statement, Krishna says, Arjuna, this is the highest thing I am telling you. Now this is my last final word. Correct? The same way we can also close the class today at this point. The final word of Krishna in Gita is the highest word. Because always the final word is the highest word. So what does Krishna say in Gita? You forget all your dependence. You know? No, I have to do this duty, I have to do that duty. You forget everything. Ma ekam sharanam vacha. What does it mean? Sharanam means dependence. Take my sharan. Take it? Because we are all, if we are honest, we are all being kicked at every moment. We are suffering like anything actually. We all need shelter. Correct? So many ways I am in difficulty. I need shelter. Krishna is saying, take my shelter. Ma ekam. He is saying you don't have to go to two places. Take shelter, me only. And Are Baba, I have, just like Italian, those people came to India and they killed the foreigners, they're in trouble. Somehow their country by trick took them away. But similarly, we have also come to the world, we cannot just go like that. Because Maya will say, I cannot relieve them. He has done so many papa karma. What about those papa karmas? Correct? Suppose you are in a jail, you want to get out, the jailer will say, wait a minute. He is sentenced for this, and inside the jail also he has done so many crimes. So how can you release him? Krishna says, don't worry. Aham tvam sarapapebhyo. I'll relieve you from all the sinful reaction. Mahasacha. Don't worry. Don't worry about that. I am competent to do that. Krishna has to just give one call to Durga, relieve him. That's all. Oh, he will immediately be relieved. So in this way we can understand today the dependence and independence. So we become independent of everything. We become, biggest problem in the world is fearlessness. We become fearless when we completely depend on the Lord. Okay. Srila Prabhupada ki